Today I'm here to tell you a story. And I chose one which is very close to my heart. It is a story written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. He was a fighter pilot who fought against the Nazis and was killed in action. But prior to that, he was also found fighting in Spanish Civil War against the fascists. It is the experience in this war that is distilled in the story, The Smile. Without much ado, let us now start with an adaptation of the story, The Smile. As the story begins, I was sure that I was to be killed. I became terribly nervous and distraught. I fumbled in my pockets to see if there were any cigarettes which had escaped their search. I found one, but because of my shaking hands, I could barely get it to my lips. And I had no matches, they had taken those. I looked through the bars at my jailer. He did not make eye contact with me. After all, one does not make eye contact with a thing, a corpse. I called out to him, "Have you got a light?" He looked at me, shrugged, and came to light my cigarette. As he came close and lit the match, his eyes inadvertently locked with mine. And at that moment I smiled. I don't know why I did. Perhaps it was nervousness. Perhaps it was because when you get very close, one to another, it is very hard not to smile. In any case, I smiled. In that instant, it was as though a spark jumped across the gap between our two hearts, our two human souls. I know he didn't want to, but my smile leaped through the bars and generated a smile on his lips too. He lit my cigarette but stayed near, looked at me directly in the eyes, and continuing to smile. I kept smiling at him, now aware of him as a person and not just as a jailer. And his looking at me seemed to have a new dimension. "Do you have kids?" he asked. Yes, here. I took my wallet and nervously fumbled for the pictures of my family. He too took out the pictures of his niños and began to share about his plans and hopes for them. My eyes filled with tears. I said that I feared that I'd never see my family again, never have the chance to see them grow up. Tears came to my eyes too. Suddenly, without another word, he unlocked my cell and silently let me out. Out of the jail, quietly by the back routes, out of the town. There, at the edge of the town, he released me. And without another word, he turned back towards the town. You know what happened that day? My life was saved by a smile. Yes, the smile. The unaffected, unplanned, natural connection between people. I tell the story to you. I tell the story to people at work because I'd like people to consider that underneath all the layers we construct to protect ourselves, our dignity, our titles, our degrees, our status, and our need, lies underneath all of it lies the authentic, essential self. I'm not afraid to call it the soul. I really believe that if that part of you and that part of me could recognize each other, we wouldn't be enemies. We couldn't have hate or envy or fear. I sadly conclude that all those other layers which we so carefully construct through our lives distance and insulate us from truly in contacting others. Have you ever thought, why do we smile when we see a baby? It's because we see someone without those defensive layers. Someone whose smile for us we know to be fully genuine without guile. And that baby soul inside us smiles wistfully in recognition. So I conclude my session with an urge for all of you. Smile. Smile at each other, at your wife, at your husband, at your children. Smile at each other. It doesn't matter who it is. And that will help you to grow up in greater love for each other. Always remember, what is important is the marriage of true minds. Once you attain the marriage of true minds, life assumes a different dimension. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose words are known, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. On that note, let us keep smiling. Let us keep smiling at each other. Let us reach the marriage of true minds. Thank you.